guys, welcome back to my channel. So I am so excited today. I am doing a full face drugstore look for you guys. This is the very first time I have ever done this on camera. I have a lot of new products myself that I've never used, and I really like the way the look came out. I think, I don't know why, but for whatever reason I'm getting kind of this goth vibe, and I'm liking it. So again, I feel like all roads are leading to fall is coming. I am all about it. So I hope you guys really enjoyed this look. If you want to see how I got this look, then please keep watching, and I will see you guys very soon. So getting started, I realized, you know, step one, I don't even have a drugstore face primer. I don't. I thought I did in the back of my head, but I don't. However, I'm gonna kind of makeshift my own way because I sort of do. What I'm gonna use is actually this Mario Badescu Rose Water Spritzer, which I already did it. I did off camera. Let's just do it again because my goodness, this feels so nice. It's very similar to like the Smashbox one. Now this is supposed to be more of like a refresher throughout the day, but look, I'm gonna get my day started. Yeah. And what I do have though is this L'Oreal, do you remember this? This is kind of old now, and it's the Revitalift Moisture Blur. Now this is supposed to be used when you can put it under makeup, but it can actually just be worn kind of on its own, and it's supposed to blur imperfections. To be completely honest, I kind of thought this was definitely more hype behind it than really being what it claimed, but it still does leave a nice smoothness to your skin for sure. So there's not a heavy scent to it. It's a little, but not like, you know, it's not strong. So I'm just gonna put a little bit on my fingers and just treat this as my primer. I'm gonna go in with the L'Oreal Infallible Pro Matte Foundation. Now I lucked out with this because, to be honest, this is like my all-time favorite foundation. So I'm fine that this is drugstore. I'm good. I was covered on this one. But what is new for me, guys, is the Real Techniques Beauty Sponge, this orange sponge that has become very popular as a great dupe for the Beauty Blender. Now I gotta be honest, I am all about the Beauty Blender. That's all I ever use. And I already got this wet. I will say it like doubles in size just like the Beauty Blender does. And I'm excited to try this. This is gonna be like a first impression of it for me. And I know I'm on the late show because everyone really got into this. I'm also gonna use though my Morphe foundation brush just to kind of wipe this all over, and then I'm gonna go in with the sponge. I'm gonna include this as a like drugstore option because although they're not necessarily sold at a drugstore, I feel like these are drugstore prices and very comparable to like Real Techniques in the price. So I think it's okay. Yeah. And I've been just loving to do this lately, where I put it on with this and then go in with a sponge and kind of press it all in. Okay, we're doing the sponge. It feels good, it feels right. I will say, I do love the shape of it, and I put like my foundation on this, that's why it looks like that. Obviously it fits so nicely under the eye, and I'm totally gonna use this for my concealer as well. That part's gonna definitely feel a lot better, I think, than the Beauty Blender. So, okay, it feels good. I like this so far. I'm gonna go in with the Maybelline Age Rewind Eraser Dark Circles Treatment Concealer. It's like a mouthful there. But I actually got this months ago, and truth be told, my favorite drugstore concealer is the Maybelline Age Rewind one. Now this one is technically a little bit different, where it's more of the brightener illuminator one and not so much their true concealer, even though it like looks identical. So this is gonna be good though to truly just kind of brighten under your eye and not so much conceal though. So if you are someone with dark circles, I don't know, I feel like you're gonna need something a little bit more powerful than this one in particular, like the color of it, but I think it's gonna obviously give us a really good, you know, glow. It's got like a very pink undertone to it. So I'm gonna go in with this sponge. Just kind of treat it like I would with my beauty blender and see how she does. Okay guys, I like this a lot. I'm good with this. This is good. Okay. Now I'm gonna go in with what I used on my first impressions of this product actually not too long ago on this Wet n Wild contour kit, and it's this duo of, you know, you got your bronzer and your highlight or setting powder is what I'm gonna use it for. So I'm gonna go in with this Morphe G5 brush. It's a great brush to set the under eye with powder. So I'm gonna dip into this. You know, for a Wet n Wild product and obviously a very affordable one, this is not bad, guys, not bad at all. And I'm just kind of pressing that in. And you know, when I used it before, it was more of, like I said, a first impression, but I gotta tell you, even by the end of the day, it held up. It was not bad. Now, since I have that, I'm gonna actually dip into the bronzer side now. And I'm sorry guys, this is in the Dolce de Leche palette. I'm going to just dip in with my G30 Morphe brush, this flat contour brush. Whenever you're working with bronzer or like doing a contour, always work upwards. Now, if it gets a little messy or it does fall down a little bit, you can always go back in with like that lighter shade and kind of clean up underneath. But we always want to bring it up because that'll really help obviously define those cheeks versus sometimes it happens, look. Bringing it downward, it can really make it look like we have a beard. You know. And then I'm just gonna go in with this really like fluffy stipling like brush, and I'm just gonna kind of like make sure it's not too harsh. So I'm gonna give this ombre blush one more try because I think it's so beautiful in the packaging, right? This is from Wet n Wild too, and it is in the color in a purple haze. When I went in with it with a Real Techniques like fluffier brush, the pigment just was not there. But I'm gonna go in with a different blush brush. We're gonna try this one more time. I'm gonna take this G8, it's actually a blush brush from Morphe. See, and I feel like there's totally, I don't want too much, but I feel like there's product showing on it. Let's see. Now, I did say when it was like my first impression of it, I said the pigment wasn't great on it, but it still did leave a really pretty sheen. So I gotta give it that, no matter what. Okay, better. This brush is a little denser than the one that I originally used. Yeah, that's better. Yeah, I'm sorry guys, I feel like I sound like a frog. I recently picked up an eyeshadow primer by Makeup Revolution. I'm laughing because you're gonna see this if you are not familiar with it and go, huh? And again, eyeshadow primer. What? This is water in a dropper. Okay, it's not even a dropper, it's like a squeeze tube thing. What is this? Like, okay, I didn't know. So I tested it on my hand, and believe it or not, once it dried, I'm like, okay, I can feel kind of like, go with me, a liquid lipstick a little bit when it dries. It's like, okay, it seals on there, right? This is how I feel, and it's called Aqua Seal. It does. Now, I don't know how I feel about it though, because applying to my eyes a liquid, I don't know the best way to do this, but I'm gonna try on my finger like this. Oh Lord, oh, okay. And then I'm just gonna, okay, all right. Okay. And on my hand, I realized it did take about maybe like 20 seconds or so. And I'm like, okay, it's not doing anything. It's not drying. It's not working. And then it all of a sudden just totally dried and it was sealed, you know? It's so weird. So, okay, this wasn't awful. It's just weird. Okay? I don't know. It's just different. It's like when they came out with the push-up liner from Benefit, and we're like, what do you want us to do with that? It might be a great product, but what? So yeah, I'm gonna let it dry for a little bit. Okay guys, so I can feel that it's drying. And when I look up, it feels really sticky. So I'm gonna give it a little bit more time. Yeah, I'm not sure about this. I'm really not. I think it's gonna work well, but I don't know about the feeling of it. It doesn't feel right. It's interesting. On that same kick though, I did pick up this Makeup Revolution Ultra Eyeshadows palette. Look at this baby. Look at that. I think I have high hopes here. And this right here, this side, I love that it's all matte and this is very shimmery. I think this is gonna be fun to work with. It comes with this paper thing on top to like tell you what the name of the colors are, which is cool. I'm gonna go in with the shade, and it is a matte shade, and it is Uncover is the name of it right here. I'm gonna go in with that with this deluxe crease brush from Real Techniques, and it's actually a really big brush for like eyeshadows, but I actually really like using this, especially if I'm feeling kind of lazy, to kind of just put as my true transition. And I'm gonna kind of use it just to kind of set everything too, because I don't know what I'm working with exactly yet. So I feel like it's kind of like, I don't know if it's the shadow that's really doing that or if it's because of that primer underneath, because I felt like this happened when I tested it on my hand too. This looks very shimmery now to me. And in the pan, it is not shimmery at all. So I'm not sure about that. Not that shimmer is a bad thing, but if you weren't expecting it, you know. I'm gonna go in with Smudge and Pure Chocolate, these two bottom ones right here. And I'm gonna mix them a little bit. And I'm using a Morphe shadow brush. This is the G24. And it's just a fluffy, like, blending brush. I'm gonna just keep that in the crease area. Again, these are matte shades, at least in the pan. They're a little powdery, like when I'm dipping in, there's a lot that's kind of like, you know, powdering up. But you know, that doesn't really bother me as long as the pigment is still there. Okay. You know, I mean, I feel like it's very pigmented. I feel like this primer though is what is making it look a little bit more sheen. I still think it's pretty. I just wasn't, you know, expecting that. Now I'm gonna take this paper shade, which is the lightest one in the palette, and I'm gonna put this on underneath my brow, and that's gonna hopefully, you'll see that's coming out a little bit more matte. You know what? It's gotta be this primer because I didn't quite bring the primer all the way up here, and this is actually staying matte. So it's gotta be that. That's interesting. I guess having said that, that's kind of cool because if you wanted it to do that, you know? I think this color right here is gorgeous. I really do. And that is in the color Copper Shimmer. I'm gonna go in with my flat brush from Morphe, and it's not wet. And I'm just gonna see what I get here from dipping in. Ooh, this looks promising. And look at that, even on the brush, not bad, right? And I'm going to put this on the center of my lid. I bet if I did wet my brush with like some Fix Plus, by the way, you can use eye drops if you don't have MAC Fix Plus, and I bet it would be very intense, but I like this. This is good. Cool. So then from here, what I want to do is I want to take this really shimmery white shade. Look at this. I don't even know if this is picking up. Right here. Oh yeah, come on. And that is in the color Highlight. I'm going to use it as my highlight right here. Oh yeah, okay. All right. I'm gonna bring it into that where that copper is, and that's why I kept it in just the middle. I kind of want to do this maybe trifecta. Maybe I'll do another one out here a little bit, but I feel like they're all kind of blending together, so that's kind of nice. Let's go in with this dark shade down here. Look at this. Come on. And that is in the color Molten Chocolate. Oh yeah. And I'm gonna go and put this on the outer V. So I'm just gonna go back in with that fluffy brush that we did right here and just kind of blend, blend, blend. Now I'm gonna just take those first few colors that are matte colors. I did that because they kind of turned not matte, but I'm gonna use those, mix those bottom two browns and just like smudge out on the bottom. And you know what? It's totally that primer because they're totally matte down here. And again, I didn't put the primer there, so it's kind of interesting. Cool. So from here, I'm excited to try this because this is supposed to be a good dupe for the Kat Von D Trooper liner, which I love. And this is the Physicians Formula eyeliner, and it's in the Eye Booster 2-in-1 Lash Boosting Eyeliner and Serum. And the serum, I guess, is supposed to really help with like your eyelash growth. And I'm like, okay. And Amanda Allison here is the one who recommended this to me, and I am excited to try it. Tip looks so much like the Kat Von D one. Give it a shake, you can hear it. And let's see what we can come up with. Cool. I feel like the brush itself moves well, is very nice, but I have to do a few more strokes than the Kat Von D one to get that true black line. But I do like this. Cool, okay. So sticking with that Makeup Revolution brand, this is the Focus and Fix Eyebrow, sorry, I know there's a glare, Eyebrow Shaping Kit. And to me, it looks very, very similar to the Brow Envy from Too Faced. And it comes with these little itty bitty tweezers and this little itty bitty brush. Now, I do not have a drugstore brush for brows. So I'm gonna bear this one out, and I'm gonna use this. So I'm gonna dip into this brunette shade here. I don't know about this brush. I'm gonna try and do my brows. Actually, it's not terrible, it's just small. You know, I'm not really someone who does my brows very intensely at all. I kind of stick to their natural shape. And I just fill them in just to give it a little bit more, you know, sharpness, you know. So I'm gonna go in with this Mega Volume Mascara from Wet n Wild that I've actually been really liking. And it kind of just looks just like that. And I'll put on some mascara. Now you could absolutely pop on lashes for sure. And I probably would normally, but I'm gonna give my eyes a little break because I've been wearing lashes the last few days, and I have really sensitive eyes. It does not take much for me, and I'm just gonna let them breathe a little bit. Now from here, I will do my highlight because I like to wait to do that until I have done my eyes and everything to see how intensely or what colors I'm working with, but I think this is gonna go well. And this is again from that same brand, that Makeup Revolution, and this is their Illuminate. That there's really no color other than Pro Illuminate is what it says. Now at glance, it kind of has a champagne pop vibe. So let's see what we can do here. Now I'm gonna go in with this Real Techniques brush. I love my Anastasia one for applying highlight, but to stick with the theme of Drugstore, I'm gonna go in with this, and it is a setting brush, but I used to use this for highlight. So I'm gonna dip into this. It is a little powdery, I will say, but let's see. Okay. Okay, that's not bad at all. I also got a liquid lipstick from the same brand. I should call this a one brand thing, right? But it is the Lip Euphoria Karma, and it's this very pretty nude. So I'm gonna go in with that. Looks just like this. I have swatched it, but I have not worn it, so. I feel like it's a bit streaky, but I think you could build it. I'm not gonna lie too, my lips are kind of dry right now. Everything's dry. That's what it is. My voice is dry. So this is my finished look. And you know, I feel like I have this kind of like gothy thing happening. I don't know if this is just me and it's the top too, but I like it. I really like it. So, is the hair, what are we doing? What is it doing? But I really like this. I think it's so interesting to me that I've never technically, well, and I say never, like on camera, and not in my life, but I have not done a full face of just drugstore products on my channel at all, and I haven't done it personally in a very long time, and I think it's quite possible to get everything you need through Drugstore. I enjoy collecting what I have behind me here, but this is more than okay. So I am impressed. I like this. I really like these shadows. I am unsure about this whole sealant deal for the primer, although I do again now think that knowing that it makes it kind of shimmery, that can be really cool if you want that. So yeah, verdict's still out on this one, but let me know if you've used this and what you think of it. But yeah. Anyway guys, I hope you really enjoyed this tutorial. Please let me know in the comments, if so, what you'd like to see next for a makeup look. I'm open to doing so. Anyway guys, thank you so much for watching as always. Please subscribe if you have not already, and please give this video a thumbs up if you have not already, and I will see you guys very soon. Mwah!